Hi there. Thanks for joining me today. I have a flip through of a journal I recently completed, and I thought you might enjoy looking through it with me. It's a pretty little book that I made spur of the moment, and I'm awfully glad I did. I love the way it turned out. I was inspired to help raise money for the Canadian Liver Foundation. June 9th is the Stroll for Liver fundraiser in Canada to raise money for liver research, liver disease research. And the awareness color for liver is a green ribbon. So I thought I'm going to make a green junk journal, and then the proceeds from the profits will go to the Canadian Liver Foundation. So I hope you will enjoy this flip through, and if you are interested in this journal, I hope you'll pop over to my Etsy shop and take a look and see if maybe this is the journal for you. It's a nice sized journal. It did not have a copyright date inside of when it was printed, but by doing a little bit of research online, I did find that the publisher, Hearst & Company, this one was published in New York, but the exact same version was published in England. Many publishers had several locations, and the exact same cover was published in England in 1888. So I'm suspecting that it's probably around the same age, especially given what I know now of what to expect from a books of certain ages, how they were put together, how the papers are, wear and tear, that sort of thing. I do have a very strong suspicion that it's from the late 1800s. And it's lovely and grungy, although it has been sealed. I cleaned it as best I could without going too crazy because I didn't want to lose the ink off of it. It was already starting to fade. So after what I could clean, what I did was I sealed it. So it's nice. The surface now is clean because that's the sealant that you're feeling now. And the sealing did a double duty because these pretty little flowers on the front cover were very faded, and I refreshed the sort of lavender pink morning glories that are on the cover and also on the spine of this book. Let's take a measurement of it because I do forget. It's about 4 3/4, maybe almost not quite 5 by 7 1/2, and it is about 1 1/4 inch spine. I've put 7 signatures into it, and I created, after restoring the spine and making it strong again, there is a hidden hollow back spine in there, which makes it nice for opening up for writing in. And you'll see there's plenty of space for writing in this book. Let me come back a little bit so that I have more room underneath my camera. So this journal has, even though it's not huge, it's got 180 pages of various sizes in it. I was able to put some of the original text block back into it, and I was also able to use some of the pages from the text block to make journaling tags. And well, we'll see when we go through it. As usual, with the journals that I create, I really try my best that all of the materials used to create this book came from secondhand repurposed sources. So thrift stores, yard sales, quite often generous happy mail and happy gifts from fellow junk journaling friends. And it all came together to make a pretty journal. It's got this gold harp on the cover, and there's also more of a worn one on the spine, because the spines always take a bit of a beating, usually from being on a bookshelf and in the sunshine. So I think that adds to the character. I like when a book looks like it's been well loved. Inside, I have made what's called in our journaling community a Dutch door, and of course a junk journal isn't a junk journal without a little Edith Holden in it. So this is a song thrush and young. So there's that mama with her babies, and it's also a pocket. In behind, I've just tucked a little note with some little fairies in it and tucked that inside. But you can put whatever you like inside there if you want anything in there. On this side is the song thrush's egg, again from Edith Holden's book, The Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady. And this is a poem called A Creed by Norman Gale that was also on the same page. And I did my best to save it while I fussy cut all those pretty illustrations out. And I've just tucked those there. So you can see on the back, I have made them into journaling cards so that you can write on the back. And Edith's handwriting will frame your handwriting. So I've tucked those there. There's a little lace overlay of some very old lace. I'm not sure it's antique, but it's definitely vintage. Here's the original first page of the book. Normally this is the side that would have had the date, but alas, some publishers didn't put their publication date in their books, and this is one of them. For a lot of the pages that I created by tea dyeing myself, I inked along the edge, and again with a theme of green. Many of them are green, but I did want to break it up with some complementary colors, and since these pretty little flowers were sort of a pinkish lavender, you're going to find pinkish lavendery purple colors throughout this book as well. And because this book, because whoever purchases it, I want them to know I appreciate them doing so, I've added a vintage in appreciation card in here. I think it was originally for to thank people for being kind at the passing of a loved one, but I've since made it into a thank you card. And there's room for journaling on the back. On this little bulldog clip that has some of the same fabric that I used to create the text block, the new text block, I added a bit of the same fabric and a little vintage button, and then I made a journaling tag for you to write on. And this is what was left. Hold on, I'm going to sneeze. Real life here. I apologize for that little momentary break. So this is a page out of the book, and this is the original lining that was inside the spine when I had to take it apart to reinforce it. So you'll notice that they mirror image each other, and where it says Hearst and Company down here, it also still says Hearst and Company on there. And so I put that onto one of the journaling tags. And then this is from one of my many books that I like to pull from to add color and fun to my journals. And for that one, I suspect it was meant to be a little bit of a naughty illustration, she's showing quite a bit of legs and arms there. That's nothing compared to today. And it says a journalist on it. So I thought that was appropriate. This hand crocheted lace here, somebody took the time and the skill to crochet along both sides of rickrack, and I only had this much and enough to make the topper for one of the tags that you'll see when we come to. And this was the perfect journal to use, this tiny little bit of lace that was gifted to me. And I've added a charm that has a little key, and the key to finding the cure for liver disease lies in raising funds for the scientists so they can continue to work. Now, that's in the way, so I can't turn the page. There we go. So lots of room for journaling in here. I tried my best to only play with the pages that have the printing on them. This is how I covered up the thank you for your being kind during the funeral. And what I did was I made a pocket out of some leftover offcuts of the scrapbook papers that I used for the front and the back of the book, and then made a little journaling card to go inside. And again, the theme of green with a little touch of pinky purple there, and same with here, a little Victorian scrap print. And then there's a tip out here with the green sort of stenciling ink. And this was a bit of leftover tissue from that was inside the original text block, so I've included it, as well as this page was also in the original text block, and it's blank, so I thought that's perfect for a journal. And a little tuck spot with a tiny little doily for you to put somewhere to help get you started on decorating your journal. And I just thought this young lady was lovely, and again, the correct colors to go with the theme I was hoping for. Another blank page that was in the original text block. So these papers are from the late 1800s, which is really cool, I think. So here along this edge has got a little bit of a lavender color ink, and I hand tore using my my homemade tear edge ruler many of these pages, you'll see, and then inked around the edge, and I really like the way that turned out. This is the page from an old guest book. This is from some stationery, and a page out of the original text block. So whenever you see pages like this throughout the book, normally, sorry, I had an itchy nose. Normally, you would find me writing in pencil down here the year of old pages that I've used in books. But in this case, all the old pages that I've used came from the text block. So you will know how old that paper is. Here's another journaling tag that I made using a page out of the text block. And I noticed on the page it says, "To a Lady." So I fussy cut this lady out onto it, and she's from a book I have called The Girl's Own Annual, and it's from 1888 as well. So I thought that was rather appropriate, and since we had a black and white theme going on here, I put a black and white paper clip there to hold it in place. And again, more paper with lots of room for you. This is a nice one to put in because not only does it have green in it, it's from a gardening manual. So that's really nice to have in there. This page, I need to put something in here because I don't like empty tuck spots. So here's a vintage Rolodex card for you to have fun with. That's a tuck spot. Making use of all the leftover scraps from the end paper sheet that I used. And there's another one on this side. So let's put another Rolodex card in there, shall we? And that way you'll remember and know that you can make whatever you like and tuck it in there. And like I said, I enjoy pages with lots of different sizes. So it just makes for nice variety and fun as you flip through your journal. And they're blank for you to write on. This little journaling tag that I created, it's a copper colored paper clip here, has that's actually not Peter Rabbit, that's the fierce bad rabbit, and he's looking very fierce. And he got one of the same laces that was along the edge, and I sewed around the edge, and there's room for you to journal there. So he's right there. So a little Beatrix Potter in here. Again, more tea-dyed paper. There's a permanent bookmark in here. It's vintage, so it's faded lavender, but it matches the fabric that I used down the center here. And you'll see that I added a little bit of lace at the head and the foot of this book, and I think that looked really pretty. And from a little notepad that had some roses on it, and I had some fun stenciling here, and offcuts from the pages from that gardening book. Nothing got wasted, so it went back into the book. Another tea-dyed page out of a guest book. Here's a green page, and here's another lavender page. A little tuck spot here. I liked it. It says The American Woman on it. I'm not sure what year that was, but it looks like it got postmarked in Massachusetts. And this is a vintage score pad page from a bridge book. Some more stationery, and again some more fun stenciling with the two inks that I chose. Here's a page from a book I have from the 1940s, Butterflies and Moths of England. And it even has a little bit of room left for you. I was able to create 2 tabs from some of the leftover scrap paper, and I put word snippets on them. And again, in the theme of raising money for liver disease to find a cure, one of them says hope and one of them says strong. These are word snippets that I find out of other books, and I cut them out and save them and put them back into journals. The backs are blank so that you can put your own word snippet on it if you like. Some more of this is the page that went on the back. It's got foxglove on it, so I just added it there as the page edging. Again, making use of some more of the gardening journal paper. This paper was given to me, came all the way across the ocean from my friend Anna. Here's another tag that I made, and I used as the background some more of the text block space for you to journal on, some sewing around the edge, some more of the lace, the same lace that you saw at the front. And then inside is a vintage playing card. And then I backed it with, actually that's a rinsed used coffee filter. But it makes for good, it makes for interesting ways to cover the backs of vintage cards so that you can use it as a journaling card. And then a little bow at the top. And then I pinned it up high enough so it sticks out the top and looks nice. And again, the other sides of these pages. A little fussy cut here out of one of the many books on my shelf. A little tip out. And here's the other page from out of the gardening diary. It's a 10-year gardener's diary that I have, and I just love it. The pages are huge, and it leaves lots of room for journaling on. More of those interesting odd-sized pages, and more of the other side of that page that came from Anna. Here's some more scrapbook paper. This, again, I need to put something in it because I like tuck spots to have something in them, and it's a tuck spot. So there we go. On this side is another journaling tag. I had a little stamp of a wren, and it came out good. I like to claim myself to be amongst the world's worst stampers, and that one turned out all right. And then I found in one of my books a little house wren, so I fussy cut her out because this one had a poem titled A Wren's Nest on it. So, and then I put some vintage ribbon on it, or grosgrain ribbon on it. This is from a record keeping book that I found in Prince Edward County, Ontario, and I love when they have the numbers on them. I tea-dyed it though. A little tuck spot here, and as ever, a Two Nanas bookmark goes in when it's a full sunny side journal, as opposed to one of my skinny dip journals. Some tea-dyed stationery. And the last of the tags with a little bow tie paper clip here. That was a gift from, I think that came from Kelly. And Poems of the Imagination. And I thought this little girl here on the swing is using her imagination. That came from More Happy Mail that recently arrived from Amanda. And I love how that tag turned out. I got to get back into making tags. I got out of the habit, and it was fun. I just did a little fussy cut here and added it onto this tip out, and chunked the edge and inked it. I thought that turned out pretty. And the last of this pretty crocheted onto the rickrack lace. Oh, this is the last one. They keep coming. This is the last journaling tag, and I thought that turned out pretty with the mother and the children. And I always like when there's a little dog in it, and you can journal on the back. And again, I have it sticking out the top because I like all the different lacy things hanging out the top. On the back here, this picture of Wordsworth. It's a little scary. He kind of looks like Marley's ghost. But anyhow, there's the man himself. So I included it, and maybe you might want to make a tag out of it. I don't know. I will leave it up to you. And here's I couldn't remember the name of these flowers for the life of me the other day, and it's foxglove. And I think I'm right. I could be wrong. Pretty sure it's foxglove. And as ever, one of my little tags at the bottom where I sign it. The CABC is my signature for my journals, and it says 2024 there. And that is the end of my journal that I created to raise funds for the Canadian Liver Foundation. So this is a really important journal for me to sell, and I feel honored to be able to do it. So I hope you'll take a moment to go over to my Etsy shop and take a look and see if maybe a pretty little journal like this is the kind of journal for you. And in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this little flip through of I haven't made a pretty journal in a long time. Usually I'm making quirky kind of oddball journals, and it was kind of nice just to make a pretty one for a change, and I have to remind myself to do that more often. So thanks for joining me today, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care. Bye.